that you, Brianna?
Yeah.
Sorry, I totally forgot about the time. Glad you texted me.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got most everybody here.
Can you hear me?
Who is that?
Andre?
Yeah. Julian will be here in a second. Go and get your practices for lesson 111. Oh. That's 4. Juliana should be here in a second. I don't know what it is with Katie's. Katie, can you hear us? Hers keeps saying connecting to audio. Katie, I don't know if you can hear us, but for some reason yours isn't connecting audio. Push on, check your, let me text her. Check to make sure you're connecting. Then you guys have to push something, right, for connecting to audio?
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Juliana. Does nobody have their, well, I see you have your camera on, Juliana. Does anybody else, do you guys have your camera on or you just decided to turn it off? It doesn't matter to me, I was just curious.
I don't want mine on.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a system problem, so. Is that the case for you, Eric, and for you, Andre, and for you, Brianna, as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, I think we have everybody. Everybody can hear me now, right? Katie, looks like somebody's reconnecting. Hold on.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Took you a little bit to get connected there to the audio, but see if Eric, I don't know what his situation is. Eric, can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Oh, you can now. Okay, good. Who has the weird face? Not the Shrek one, but the other one as their picture.
That's SpongeBob. It's not a weird face.
SpongeBob?
It's weird to me. Anyway, it's SpongeBob.
Yeah.
So who has that? Is that you, Eric? I assumed it was, but
Andre.
oh, that's Andre. Okay. Well, I was gonna say it looked a little bit like Andre, but I wasn't quite sure. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started with the practices then. A, B, C, and D. A, 22, 22, 23, 23 is how you should have it split up. Letter B is 3 tickets. Letter C is 5 vans. Letter D is $6.25. Now, yesterday I had asked, didn't I ask all of you to send me your something after the end of class?
Yeah. The math.
Yeah, the math lesson, and I only received Brianna's, and that was it. Eric, I reminded you right at the end, but you never sent it to me. Oh, now you can't hear me. Well, your microphone's off, Eric.
Wait, you did?
I asked everybody to, and I asked you right at the end specifically. Well, I asked everybody specifically right at the end. Brianna did it right away. None of the rest of you did. Is there a reason?
No, I just don't remember.
Okay.
We have to send because my connection's bad. I can barely hear you. What did you say that we have to send?
yesterday I told you you had to send your the math lesson from yesterday. Now you didn't have yours done, I don't think, did you?
Did you see it anywhere in the files? Whatever those are called.
What's that? In the video?
In the folders that you got.
Yeah, some of you sent it. Some of you sent it to me, but I was talking about the people who actually did it yesterday. That they were supposed to send it to me.
Mr. John?
So it was only Eric and Brianna were the only two that had their lesson yesterday. And so Eric, yeah, you were the other one.
Yeah,
So-
I can send you a picture as soon as my mom comes. She's not here.
Okay, just don't forget, because as you guys are aware, there's been some sudden incredible increase in your math that you've done since you've been here, since you've been doing these at home. And I know that some of you are just doing a better job, but I know some of you probably are just not doing, being honest about it, in all honesty. And it's not right to do that. If you are, that's fine. I don't mind if you are. By the way, Andre, you spelled reconnecting wrong. Two N's. Anyway, so you're not helping yourself by doing that. Not to mention it's cheating. In all honesty, it's lying, it's cheating. But I'm not concerned about that as much as the fact that you just don't care about doing right and trying to get help to do better on your math. And some of you are. Some of you are being perfectly honest. I know that. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys are understanding that what you're doing, if you're doing that, it's not helping you. You know, if you're doing that and you get a 65, you're getting, 20 whatever's, high 20s, mid-high 20s on your lesson, but you're getting Fs on your tests. That can't be. There's no way that can connect. And so it needs to be, I mean, if I have to, I'll have you send me a picture of your lesson every day to make sure that you're even doing the lesson. I don't even know if you're doing the lesson in all honesty. Because all I'm going by is what I see. What you give me in your grade. People who weren't doing their lessons, suddenly they're doing them all the time. And now I don't think from you guys I have as much difficulty, but I do think there's some, I think there's just some people that just aren't doing what they should be doing. So, all right, let's go ahead and do the rest of the practices here. Letter B is 3 tickets. C is 5 vans, and D is $6.25.
Mr. Jones?
Yeah.
I can show you my paper right now because I have it right here in my hand.
That's fine. Just send a picture of it, though. Oh, you can't send a picture of it?
Yeah.
What are you using right now? Ellis thing?
No. Yeah, I'm using Ellis thing, but you can't.
Her phone, or is it her?
Computer.
Computer. Okay. Yeah. If you want to turn your camera on, you can just show me real quick. But I really want a picture of it. So just when your mom gets back, just send a picture of it. Or if you want to, you can use your sister's computer somehow to take a picture of it and then put it on the Skype. Just send a direct message to me on the Skype thing. That would work too. All right. Did anybody get a check mark? So let's start with Eric. Did you?
Nope, did not.
Okay. How about you, Juliana?
No.
Andre?
Yes.
Okay. Katie?
Yes.
And Brianna?
Yes.
All right. All right, Andre, you got another half lesson pass. Brianna, you are 1 away from your test and full lesson pass that you get.
Okay.
Right, let me put the we're here. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and do the lesson then. Evens only. That's what you should have had, or what you should have done. So number 2 is 10.09. Number 4 is 27 sugar cubes. Number 6 is 30 centimeters. 8 is B, 10A is 1.5, and B is 150%. 12 is 10.5, and 14 is $14.70. Any questions on that side?
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
what if for number 4 I put 27 cubes?
That's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
You
What
could have
was
also
number
done
four?
this one. It doesn't. Now, never mind. That one didn't have the measurements. Sometimes you'll even have the measurements of the cube itself. That the same one that screamed yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. How old?
1.
Oh, that explains a little bit. All right, here we go. Let's number 16 is 6.7. 18 is 40 square meters. 20 is T. 22 is 2 cubed times 3 plus 5 squared. 2 cubes mean 2 to the 3rd power, in case you didn't remember that. 2 cubed, or 2 to the 3rd power, times 3 times 5 squared. 24 is 6 cents. 26 is angle B. 28 is 31.4 centimeters. And 30 is 250 miles. Okay,
What
any
was
questions?
18?
Couldn't hear you.
18.
18 is 40 square meters.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other
What was
questions?
28?
Which one? 28?
28, yeah.
31.4 centimeters.
And 30.
30 is 250 miles. All right, so Eric, what'd you get?
25.
Okay, Juliana,
24.
Andre,
26.
Katie,
I'm 26.
okay, and Brianna.
28.
Okay, so everybody, pay attention. Send me a copy of that today, okay? That lesson 111, since everybody did this one or didn't put it in their envelope or whatever else. Just make sure you give me a copy of it, please. Thank you. All right, so let's go to lesson 112. Lesson 112 is about giving or finding a given percent of a number, a given percent. Remember how you have this issue, not this method of doing things. Okay, so if we have a of equals what?
Multiplication.
Multiplication.
Okay, so multiplication is of, and then is
Division.
Equals.
it's equals. Yeah, so in a word problem, of means multiplication, equals means is. Okay, so we know that. Now, so there are a certain type of problem, and of course you guys have been doing this in your little charts. If you look at the charts, you see the charts there. The charts that we do, like on page number 540, where you have the fraction, decimal, and the percent, and how you can get those. You can exchange them or interchange them back and forth and just go from one to the other. Well, you can do the same thing with a certain type of problem, and it's this type of problem that we have here. You'll be dealing with it a lot next year, and that is called, I call it F times of equals is. Now it doesn't make as much sense. Even when I say it right now, it doesn't make as much sense. But basically it's fraction times a number is equal to the answer. All right, so fraction times a number is equal to the answer. All right, so for instance, and this is a word problem we're talking about, so a fraction times a number. So look at example 1. This is a word problem. It doesn't just give you numbers and then you do the calculation. It asks you, what number is 75% of 20? So where I have the F there, you can put anything. You can put percent. Oops, got it backwards. You can put percent, or you can put a decimal. So decimal times a number is equal to the answer. So whatever it is times the number. And so in this case, we're doing percent, and this is what they're dealing with. They're all percents. Now, in order to do a percent, you can multiply a percent times a fraction or a whole name. Well, really any fraction, and you would just get the percent answer. But what we're talking about here is trying to find one of the three parts. So it depends on what you're trying to do. So the other option is to convert it to a decimal or convert it to a fraction itself. All right, so in that example one, it says what number, and we know the word is means equals, so we do what number equals, and then 75% of, which means multiplication, of 20, okay? So what number is equal to 75% of 20? So what can we do with the 75%? What are two things we can do?
Convert it into a fraction.
Okay, so what would the fraction be on that?
3/4.
3/4.
Yeah, it would convert to 3/4, and that's a good way to do it, because then when you do that, you have 20 times 3 over 4 times 1. And so what can you do with the 20 and the 4?
Short. You can cross multiplicate.
Yeah, you can reduce them, because you can make 20. I'll show you. You can make 20 4 times 5, right?
Yeah.
20 is 4 times 5. You can cancel the 4 on the bottom and the 4 on the top of the other fraction there. And then you are left with, and of course that 20 is gone already. Then you're left with 3 times 5, which means the number is 15. Okay? So you can do it that way. And if you did it the other way, if you did it with a decimal, which I think they do it both ways here, they do. So if you do it with the decimal, then you're doing 0.75 times 20. But then if you do it that way with the decimal, now they may ask you to do it both ways, and you'll have to do it that way. But you're going to end up with the same answer. You're going to end up with 75% of 20. We can even do it like this. What's 20 divided into 4 parts?
5.
Yeah, so when we did the 5 in each one, and 75% would be 3 of them. And so you'd get an answer of 15 altogether. So we know the answer is 15 several different ways, but you're solving problems then using different methods to do it. Whatever is easiest is the best one to do. Sometimes the decimal is going to be easier because, for instance, if it's 1/10 of a number and it's an even number, that would make it easy to do it as a decimal. Or if you do it as 50% or something like that. So you've got to figure out what to do. So look at example 2. This one, it says Jamal answered 80% of the 25 questions. So I want you to, on your board, write a way to solve that. Just set up the problem. That's all I want you to do. I don't want you to solve it. Just set up the problem and then show me on the board what you've written. Okay? So not solving the problem, just giving me how you're setting the problem up.
Wait, Mr. Jones, for what example again?
For example 2.
Okay. Example 2. Oh.
All right, very good. Brianna, I can see yours. You're good. Okay, wait a minute, that wasn't Brianna. Sorry, that was, maybe it was Brianna. Brianna, let me see yours again. I'm sorry. Katie, no, that wouldn't work because what you've done is you've reduced the 80 over 100 by 4/5, but you've got to multiply it by the number 25. And so you see it as 80% of 25. You've made 80%. You just put 80% twice there. Where's that Andre? Andre, now I see yours. Let me see yours, Andre. Yeah, so 4/5 times 20 over 1 would be or 25 over 1 is what you should have, right? So Katie, on that one, just double check that because you shouldn't have 80 over 100 times 4/5 because then all you're doing is multiplying 4/5 times 4/5. All right, very good. All right, and then that's good, Brianna. Then let's see. Katie's still waiting for yours and Juliana for yours and the other. Eric, I haven't seen yours yet either, have I? All right, there you go, Katie. Good job. Eric? Eric? Eric, are you there,
What?
Eric?
I just came back.
You just what?
I just came back. I was looking for something.
Did you do what I asked you to do?
What?
Are you serious? You were gone?
Yeah.
Okay, look, I'm gonna have to have you guys put your cameras on while I'm teaching, all right? I'm sorry. This is getting ridiculous. I hate being taken advantage of. It's just so wrong. I'm serious, guys. And I know some of you aren't doing that, but man, ugh.
I do my language book.
Turn
It
your
was
cameras on,
downstairs.
please. No reason for you to go anywhere, Eric, okay? That means you weren't listening to the lesson at all.
No, I was. I was there for the lesson, and then I
But
went
you didn't
downstairs.
you didn't do what I asked you to do. You weren't here for the lesson because you left.
No, I was there for the lesson, but I wasn't there for the practice. I went to.
I'm not doing the practice. I'm still doing the lesson. There's no way. You stayed. You stayed for example 1. That was it. If that.
Yeah.
Andre, is there a reason you're not turning your camera on?
What?
Can you turn your camera on, please?
Oh, sure. Sure.
Thank you.
There you go.
All right, just leave the cameras on, please. Then when we get done with the lesson, we're done with everything, you guys can go away. I'm not trying to see inside your rooms or anything like that, but Eric, because you walked away and nobody even knew where you were. I didn't know where you were. You didn't say anything. Oh, I have to go get something, Mr. Jones. I'll be right back. That would have been fine, but you didn't. You just walked away. You were supposed to take example 2 and you're supposed to write out on your whiteboard what example 2 is supposed to look like as a problem. So Eric, can you do that, please? All right, so that's one way to do it. And then the other way is, of course, everybody seemed to choose the fractions because the fractions probably are a little bit easier, but you can do it by decimal as well. All right, so look at example 3. Example 3 says, find 6% of $12. What do you think the biggest mistake would be of the 6% that people would make?
They would think it's half.
What's that?
And they just say $6 because they think it's half.
That makes no sense. I'm not sure. I'm not following what you're saying. You're saying
That
they
was
would
just my
say
first thought.
they would think the 6% is the $6 instead. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was my first thought when I heard of that problem.
Got you. You mean when you first saw that? I'm just talking about generally as a 6%. What might they make a mistake on that?
They might divide $12 by 6.
No, I mean, if you set it up right, 6% up. I'm talking about just the 6% part itself. What might they do with the 6% itself? And so think about it. What's the one thing how does 6% look as a decimal?
0.06.
Okay, so, but some people might do this. They might put 0.6, okay? And so that's one of the issues that you could run into as far as the percent goes. And I've had that happen with the 5th graders in particular. They seem to have a difficulty with that. certain ones do anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and give you one that you guys can do. I'll find one for you. All right, here we go. Do this problem right here, set it up, show me the work. Some of you can probably just figure the answer out in your head, I'm sure. Can you see it well enough, Andre?
Yeah, just my camera keeps on falling.
Gotcha.
Of course, my wife.
Correct, Katie. I'm not Katie, sorry, correct, Brianna. See, incorrect, Eric. Why don't you set it, fill it out like a regular problem like you're supposed to, please? You guys do realize it's only April, right? June's not here yet. Some of you are like, man, summer's already started and we're still doing school. Not correct, Andre. Not sure what you did on your thing. Wait, look at your, I think your fraction, you wrote it incorrectly. Look at your fraction. What'd you put for your fraction?
For which fraction? For the 75%?
It should only be one fraction. Because the other one's a whole number, but what's the fraction? The 75%, yeah, what'd you do for that?
3/4.
And what did you multiply it by?
24/1.
Okay, so how did you end up with 6 as your answer? Whatever it was you had.
No, 6.
Okay, 13. How'd you end up with 13? How
I
is
don't know.
3 times 24, 52? I think you need to double check your math. Correct, Juliana. Can I see the work at the top though?
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay, all right, good. Still working on it, Katie?
We're doing it in decimal form.
That's fine.
Oh, I think I found it.
Hey, you got it. Good job.
Yeah, I just did it in decimal.
When you did the fraction, what you did was you multiplied 24 times 3, you got 52 instead of 72. It should have been 72. And it would have been better if you'd reduced it beforehand. That would have helped you.
Oh, true.
All right. No, it shouldn't be 187. You're taking a part of 24 and you came up with a number that was like 5 times what 24 is. Did you do 3/4 times 24 over 1? I can't hear you. I think your microphone's off.
Who's mine?
I wrote 25 instead of 24.
25. Why 25?
I don't know.
25 over 100? It should have been 75. You could have done 75 over 100, I guess, if that's what you're talking about. Is that? But that reduces to 3/4. Did you guys reduce it to 3/4 first?
Yeah, I did.
5 over 100? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you did that, then you would have had the 4 and the 24 reduces to this. You would have had 6 left on top and 1 on the bottom. 4 goes into 24 6 times. Sorry, 4 goes into 24 6 times. So then you have 3 times 8 left over, which is 18. All right, so is that, anybody have any questions? Katie, you look like you're still a little confused. Do you have any questions about it?
Mm-mm.
Is that a no or?
No.
Okay, all right. Let's go ahead to language then. All right, so you were supposed to do Think B on page 189. underlining all the adjectives in those sentences. And I'll ask you which nouns or pronouns that they modify. All right. So for number one, there's one for each of you here. So we'll go ahead and do just one of you, each of you do one. So Juliana, why don't you go ahead and start and do number one. What are your adjectives first?
Oh, the adjective. I underline for the adjective.
Says underline all the adjectives in the following sentences.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you do that on Think B?
Think B. I didn't do. I only did the go back and think C.
Why would
So
you?
if
There's
I
no go
didn't
back on
read
Think
the-
C. Oh, but I told you yesterday that was your assignment.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't. I forgot to read the directions up there.
You forgot to read the directions.
Yeah, I just went and did the go back
Okay,
right away.
Eric, can you do number one, please?
Ancient is the adjective.
So you found one adjective, ancient.
I
Hey.
don't want.
Did anybody find more? Andre, go ahead.
There's ancient, rusty, and silent.
Anybody find any others? Should have.
No.
A, an, and the are always adjectives. They're articles. A, an, and the.
Oh, duh.
The should be as well, yes. So the, ancient, rusty, and silent are your four adjectives in that sentence. What are they? All four are modifying the same noun. There's only one noun in there, and that's the word bell. The bell, ancient bell, rusty bell, silent bell. Now, rusty and silent are what kind, what are they called? Remember I mentioned it yesterday? They're in the predicate and they're describing the noun. What are they called? We haven't gotten to it yet, but we will very shortly. Remember if you had a noun that was renaming the subject, that was called a what?
Oh, no.
You guys just did it on your last test, or not, depending on how you did.
A predicate nominative?
Predicate nominative. And so if it's an adjective describing the subject that's in the predicate part of the sentence, and it's connected by a linking verb, which is the linking verb there, rusty and silent then are describing the subject, bell. Okay? All right. So how about number two, Miss Brianna?
Famous basketball.
That's baseball.
Baseball. Spoke. The sports club.
Okay. Would anybody disagree with any that she chose? There are a couple in there that she chose that are actually not adjectives.
Yeah.
Which ones?
Spoke isn't.
Spoke, yeah, spoke is a verb. That's the action that's going on in the sentence. The player spoke. And then there was another one she said. Does anybody recognize the other one that she didn't get correct?
Which ones did she say?
She said a famous baseball spoke the sports club.
Sports club.
Okay, that's not completely correct.
The sports club?
No, just the sports. Club is the noun, and so the club, sports club, that's what's describing the noun club. And then, of course, spoke should not be. All right, Katie, how about number three? Yeah, your microphone.
Devout. A. London. And police.
Okay, so what do you have underlined exactly? A, devout. I couldn't hear everything, so just can you repeat it real quick?
A devout London police.
Okay, did anybody see any that she missed?
Christian.
Not Christian, because that's the noun that a and devout are modifying. It can be sometimes. What was that?
Force.
No, was is a there's no was. Oh, force. No, force is not it. Police though is the word the. A, N, and the, remember, are always adjectives. So A, N, and the. So London and police, and then the force, London force, police force, okay? So let's go to Andre. Can you do number 4, please?
Kim. Kim. Did I mark these?
What's that?
Well, I can barely see my marks.
You wrote them.
Oh wait, I think I see them a little bit. 10.
Just give me what you can get. Okay, so 10, you said? Go ahead.
Yes. As. And I can't.
Did you actually underline stuff?
Oh, revival. I thought
Okay.
it was meetings. I was confused by why would I write meetings.
Okay, did anybody disagree with anything he said?
I think I said something wrong.
As.
Who said owl? Owl?
As.
Oh, as. Yeah, as should not be. What adjective is that? What is that describing? What kind of savior? The as savior.
No, try saying.
It's 10 is correct. That's right. That's telling you how many people. Bible is correct. That's telling you the what kind of a meeting. It's a revival meeting. But you missed 2 other ones. Ones that we should get every time, A, N, and the revival.
Oh, the church.
And church. Yeah, church is what kind of a meeting? It's a church meeting, it's the meeting, it's a revival meeting. So each of those individual words work in front of that word meeting there. Can church be a noun on its own? Yes, but it's not the way it's used in that sentence, and that's what you got to look at, how it's used in that sentence. All right, Brianna, can you do that last one?
Three children. A fairy furnace. And serve Nebuchadnezzar's servants.
Okay, so you had 3 children, a fiery is the word there, and furnace you said, and Nebuchadnezzar's servants. So what are Nebuchadnezzar's servants modifying? Anybody? What are Nebuchadnezzar's? Did anybody disagree with anything she said? Guys really need to focus on this to make sure that you are understanding of how these work, because when you start doing them, you've got to be able to catch everything. Okay. First of all, you said 3, right? In children, 3 is correct, but 3 is modifying children, not Hebrew. Hebrew is another adjective that's modifying children. So the 3 children are Hebrew children. And then a fiery is correct. And then Nebuchadnezzar's is the only other one there. By Nebuchadnezzar's servants is a prepositional phrase. And so the word servants there is actually a noun. It's a noun that ends that. It's the object of the preposition there. So list the 3 proper adjectives. Okay, Juliana, this is the part you did. What did you put?
For all 3 of them, I put ancient bell, player spoke, and revival meetings.
Okay, so how is, you said ancient bell? Is that what you said? How is ancient bell a proper adjective? It's not capitalized. See, it's got to be capital. Remember, it's a form of a noun, a proper noun that's used as an adjective. And in Nebuchadnezzar's is correct. You said that one, right?
Nebuchadnezzar's servants? I didn't say that one.
Okay, but not Nebuchadnezzar. Oh, you didn't say that. What else did you say?
Players spoke in revival meetings.
Yeah, none of those are at all proper noun, proper adjectives. That's your proper adjective. Okay. Go back and remember down here on this page, on the previous page that we had, talks about the proper adjectives here. It's got to be something that would normally be written as a noun as a capital lettered word. Okay. So for instance, okay, so what did you get, Andre?
I got Christ, London, and Nebuchadnezzar.
Okay, how is Christ used as an adjective? What is it describing?
Oh, I did it the opposite way. Was it supposed to be Savior?
How is Savior used as an adjective?
I think it's more. I thought as was the modifying the Savior and that stuff.
Yeah, and you guys, I understand that, but you guys have really got to make sure that you are understanding how these things work.
Oh, I think I
They
see
have to
it.
be used as adjectives. So
I think yeah.
the first one is in the third sentence, and that's the London is the first one because it's talking about the London force, London force, police force. That London is a proper adjective. You got the other, you got that one, and then Hebrew is the second one. Hebrew is in
Yeah, I just saw it.
which children, the 3 children or how many, and then which children, the Hebrew children. And then Nebuchadnezzar's is the last one, and that's which servant, Nebuchadnezzar's servant. Okay. All right. So look at the look at the bottom part there. Think C. Number 1, you should have adjective. Number 2, pronoun. Number 3, pronoun. Number 4, adjective. Number 5, pronoun. Number 6, noun. All right, any questions? Did anybody get all those correct?
I did.
Okay, good, Katie, and you did, Brianna?
Yeah.
Okay, what did you miss, Juliana?
I missed 3 and 4.
3 and 4? Okay. All right, remember, anytime you have a person's name with an apostrophe S, it's always going to be an adjective if it's right in front of a noun. So whose desk? Dylan's desk. It's always going to answer that type of thing. And then, Andre, which ones did you miss?
I missed only one. It's number 4.
4, same thing? Okay. Eric, what about you? You got to put your microphone on.
I put it as
Microphone.
I missed 3. Number 3, number 4, and number 5.
Okay. All right. So what did you put for number 5, just out of curiosity?
Pronoun.
Pronoun? It is a pronoun.
It is?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't get that one wrong.
So what did you put for number 4?
Adjective.
That's correct.
Am I deaf or what?
I didn't ask the question, but not a bad question to ask. I don't think you're deaf. Maybe you're distracted by somebody?
Yeah.
Okay. How about number 3? What'd you put there?
Noun.
That one was wrong, yeah. That one, which is one of those, remember the interrogative pronouns that we talked about? All right, so let's look at the next page now, 190. All right, so they're talking about here adjective forming suffixes. And we're going to do that. Usually I have the students do it on their own. We're going to do this together, mainly because I think for the most part, I don't think it's hard to understand the idea here. At the top there, it says adjectives are easily recognized because of their location in a sentence before nouns or after linking verbs, okay? And again, we called those ones after linking verbs what? That are in the predicate part of the sentence.
Predicate nominatives.
No, that would be the nouns afterward.
verb.
Look at it again. Adjectives are easily recognized because of their location in a sentence before nouns or after linking verbs. So predicate adjective is what it will be. A predicate adjective, which describes the subject, but it's in the predicate part of the sentence. Okay, so it says study these lists and see if you can add to them. So the ABLE words, the IBLE, the ARY, and the AR words. Now, you probably have seen, or you at least know or familiar with most of those words that are there. How about any in the ABLE list there at the top? Do you guys not recognize any of those words? Okay, so everybody sees all those. Who can come up with one that's an ABLE that's not on that list?
Makeable.
What'd you say?
Makeable.
Makeable? I'm not even sure that's an
Yeah.
actual word. Makeable. I have to look that one up. I'm not even sure that's a word, but yeah, that would, if that was, then that would be the way to, that would be an
Mr.
ABLE word.
Jones,
Yeah, go ahead.
what about thinkable?
Thinkable? Yeah, it might be. I think that one might be, but I'm not positive. Anyway, how about some others?
Approvable.
Removable.
Who said, did somebody say remarkable?
No, I said approvable.
Get a little closer, Andre. I don't know what it is, but your sound doesn't.
Approvable.
Approvable, that would work. Yeah, approvable is good.
Removable.
Removable, that would be good. Yes. Is that what you said, Brianna? Removable?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, that would be good. How about capable? You guys
Oh.
heard that one before? How about likable?
How about that?
You want to be that? Okay. How about reliable? Everybody's heard of that word? How
Yeah.
about preferable?
Oh, I
Or
haven't heard
you
that.
might say preferable. Some people say preferable, but it's preferable. All right. How about the IBLEs? So convertible, edible, indestructible, indivisible, credible, susceptible, and invincible. Any of those that you're not familiar with?
I already have two. That
You
I
already
know.
have what?
I have two. One.
4 words? Okay. So what did you say, Katie? I'm sorry.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you said something when I asked if anybody if any words they didn't understand. So, all right, Eric, since you understand all those words, use susceptible in a sentence.
I don't know what that means.
I can't understand you.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, okay. I thought you knew what it meant because you didn't say anything. All right. Does anybody know what susceptible means?
Successful?
No,
Or is it-
susceptible. It's the second to the last one in the list there.
What is that word? What does it mean?
Oh, we don't know what it means. Okay. Susceptible means that you are a person who is open to either being sick. That would be one way of using it, but you're susceptible to getting colds. Let's say that would be a good way to use it, but susceptible means you have the ability of something overcoming you or something taking control of you or something to make it so that you are not in control of yourself. So you can become susceptible. People are susceptible to colds, maybe because they have a bad immune system. Somebody can be susceptible to the cold air because they have anemia. You know, if their blood is not enough iron in it, and so they can get anemia, and that can cause to be susceptible. And then, so those are a couple of them. How about invincible? Does anybody not know that one?
I
You don't know it, Juliana? Okay, so
I know.
invincible is somebody that can't be overcome by somebody else. They're stronger than everybody else. Like Superman would be considered invincible. He can't be killed.
Oh, okay.
And you know, if he was a real person, of course. he's
Dr.
not.
Manhattan.
Well, except for Eric, of course, Eric. Superman. I need to get a haircut, Eric. Who gave you yours? Your mom?
No, my sister.
Oh, maybe I should have her come and cut mine. I need a haircut. It's starting to get really bushy up here. What little bit is there? All right. So sanitary, revolutionary, the next list, sedentary, predatory, auditory, preparatory, and regulatory. You guys are familiar with all those words, I'm sure, right? If something is sanitary, that means it's what?
Clean.
Sanitized.
Yes, it's clean. Yeah, it's sanitized. How about revolutionary? If somebody is revolutionary, they are
famous, like kind of
Well, they'd be
Okay.
more
like
against
well
the,
known.
they'd be against the rules or against the leadership of something. They would be revolutionary, or they come up with a new idea of how to do something that nobody else had come up with. So the idea could be revolutionary. It changes revolution, just like we had the revolution in the United States changing the government. Revolutionary to change that. How about sedentary? I think some of you have
What?
been pretty sedentary since you've been off school.
Like busy?
Not
Like
exact opposite.
lazy, like lacking something.
Free.
Basically, you just sit around and do nothing physical. You're sedentary. You kind of sit there all day. You don't do exercise. You don't do anything else. Could that describe some of you, possibly?
No.
No, not at all. Oh, good. I'm glad. It's nice to get outside. So, and be able to get some exercise. That really, especially at your age, you really need that. How about the word jocular on that next list? AAR, jocular. Does anybody know what that
I
means?
do not know.
Somebody who is very funny or fun or laughs a lot. Somebody who is jocular is somebody who is a fun person or they enjoy things. Familiar, you guys know what that means, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So use it in a sentence then. Katie, use it in a sentence. Familiar.
That person is familiar.
Speak up, I couldn't hear you quite, sorry.
That person is familiar.
Christian is familiar?
That person is familiar.
Oh, that person is familiar. Okay, so it's somebody you know, somebody that you're aware of. How about, you guys know irregular? Lunar, you know what lunar means? It has to do with what, if you're lunar?
The moon.
The what?
The moon.
Yeah, the moon. It has to do with the moon. So lunar eclipse, that would be an eclipse of the moon. Particular, glandular. This is something you guys will be going through in a few, couple of years, or maybe sooner, who knows? There's a gland in your brain. It's called the pituitary gland. Somebody who is glandular or something that's glandular has to do with the glands in your body. The pituitary gland is what tells you when to grow and how much to grow. And so that's your pituitary gland. But you have other glands. You have your a lot of part of the glands that are connected to your endocrine system, which is sort of the system that keeps you immune from things. It also keeps you growing and it keeps your cells replacing things, that type of thing. All right, so on the bottom there, you have abundant, brilliant, ignorant, pleasant, diligent, obedient, and persistent. Can anybody think of one ANT word?
ANT.
Not just ant. I know that's a word, but another word. That ends in ANT, yeah.
And
Or ENT. Which one? Did you say ant?
Ancient.
Go ahead, Brianna, sorry.
Patient.
No, ancient would be ancient would be IENT. That
Oh.
would really be the same type of thing.
And
Ant is not, ant is a word by itself. That's not the same kind of thing. I'll give you a hint, like elegant is one.
oh, elegant.
Yeah, I just said that.
Oh, that's elegant.
You said, did you say elegant or elephant?
I said elegant, but you just gave me an answer. So
Oh, okay.
elephant.
How about something that is smells really good? What word would you use for that? Starts with an F. Has a really strong
Fragrant.
smell. Fragrant. Yeah, fragrant would be. Okay, and then you have the full words: purposeful, playful, regretful, hopeful, doubtful, wasteful, and youthful. Wonderful, careful, faithful, respectful. And then the OUS: gorgeous, strenuous, superstitious, famous, nervous, jealous, tremendous. If somebody is a bother and they're always bothering people, what would you call them that has an OUS ending? Starts with an ob.
Obnoxious.
Obnoxious, very good. They're obnoxious. Okay, and then cautious and fictitious and monotonous. Hi, Delilah. All right, so next page, 191. All right, adjectives in disguise. So it says some words that look like verbs are used as adjectives. They will have the following characteristics. Okay, so it'd be like here's the first characteristic. Eric, read that one. Eric, look. Yeah, I can see you. It's obviously you're not looking at the book. And I can ask your mom to not let you have a swivel chair if you want. But if you're just gonna play, just pay attention to the book, okay? I don't care if you swivel, just have the book with you in your lap and read it. All right, so number 1 there on the blue section on 191.
The word will have a verb ending ing, ed, en, or t, but will not have a helping verb.
Okay, so if I said he is living in the car, then is your helping verb, living is a verb. Is living is your verb phrase. All right? And then if I said, though, living, I'm looking for, they was using an adjective. The living Lord has given us life everlasting. The living Lord. And so you're just using living there without a helping verb. Living Lord is describing what kind of God that we have. And so that would be a way that they're talking about. Okay, number 2, Juliana.
The word will answer one. The word will answer one of the adjectives questions about a man. A
Okay.
speeding car whizzed by us. Speeding is an adjective telling what kind of car. The cracked cup finally broke. Cracked is an adjective telling which one.
Okay, so normally the word crack would be something that you would do. It cracked, the ball cracked the window or something like that. He was speeding down the road. That would normally be a verb. So you've got to pay attention to how these words are used in the sentences, especially in this section that we're doing with adjectives. And I know that this has gotten very boring to you guys doing school every day, even though you would have been here at school doing it anyway. Yeah, we would have been there bored there too, Mr. Jones. Doesn't make a difference. I understand that, but it's much harder when you're at home, okay? We used to have a name for it. Delilah, do you remember what that name was? Certain kind of fever.
Huh?
Oh? This is like when you were in my class. What do they call it when the students get to the point when it's this time of the year and they don't feel like doing work anymore? And it's like we use it as if it's a sickness of some kind. You remember?
Lazy? I don't know.
Spring fever, you guys remember that term? Anyway, we call it spring fever, and that basically means that the kids, they're just tired of doing work, and so they end up not feeling like doing anything, which is fine, but I understand that. I don't want to either, but we have to. So you guys are going to be far ahead of everybody else if you keep up with what you're doing. All right. So on that think there, you're going to do that part, and you're going to underline all of the adjectives in that sentence, focusing particularly on the ones, make sure that you get those verbs, that verb form that's used as an adjective. So look at number 1. The singer's booming voice was supported by a full orchestra. Underline, everybody, underline all of the adjectives that you can find in that sentence. I'll give you a hint. There are 5 of them. All right, since there are 5 of them, I'll go in order and each of you tell me one that you found. So we'll start with Eric. Go ahead, Eric. Which one did you find?
The
Where are you?
think.
Oh, did you say, wait a minute, what did you say? The?
Yeah.
I thought you said dog. I'm sorry. I misunderstood you. Okay, so the, all right. So Brianna, what do you have for the second one?
Booming.
Okay, booming is one. All right, Andre? Three left.
A.
Okay,
no.
A is another one. Yeah. All right, Katie,
yeah.
there are two left. Which one did you get, or did you get another one? Your microphone again.
I got the singers.
Okay, so there you go. You got singers. All right, so we have the, singers, and booming are the first three, and then A, and then what's the last one, Juliana?
Orchestra.
No, orchestra is the noun. So the full would be what modifies a noun. It's the one that is telling you what kind of an orchestra, a full orchestra. A orchestra, full orchestra, okay? You got to keep an idea not to put nouns as your adjectives, okay? All right, so do number 2 on your own, and then I will just tell you the answers here for number 2. So just do number 2. I'll give you a hint on this one too. There are only 4 in this one. All right, is everybody done, or is somebody still need more time?
I'm still thinking.
Okay.
I can only find 3. I can't find the 4th one.
Okay. So what are the 3 you found, Andre? Just out of curiosity.
Noted A, noted Quaker.
Where are you? That's number 3. We're doing number 4.
Oh, I accidentally looked
No,
at 3.
sorry. We're doing number 2.
I accidentally looked at number 3. I was like, okay.
The numbers at the front are the numbers that tell you which question we're doing. But that would make sense since that is correct what you had on number 3, though. That's why you only got 3, because there are only 3 there. All right, got it now? All right, so here's what you should have. 2, recent, American, and worldwide. Those are your 4 adjectives that you have. Did anybody get something different or any questions about those? All right, so finish up that one. Now, Juliana, pay attention to what it says on the go back. On the go back, you're going to list the proper adjectives that you underline. Okay, so there are proper adjectives there. We've already gotten 1. Which one did we already do? Which one did we do already?
American.
Yeah, American. So you can put that as your first one down there. That's your first proper adjective. All right. And then you're going to also list the verb forms used as adjectives in the think. And which verb form did we already use? Besides Andre. Which verb form? It was in number 1. Which one has a verb form used as an adjective? What do you think, Eric?
Supportive.
Oh, go ahead. Which one?
Supportive.
That wasn't one of our adjectives, though. The 5 adjectives we had were the singers, booming, a full. Say again.
Singers.
Singers is not a verb. A singer wouldn't be a verb. It would be a person. It would be a singer, and that's the singer's voice. But it's a different one. Eric, do you have an idea?
Orchestra?
Orchestra was not one of the adjectives that we underlined, Eric.
Oh.
Katie, how about you? Can you turn your microphone on and see?
Let's see.
Couldn't hear you.
I'm not sure.
Okay, how about you, Brianna?
Booming.
Booming, yeah, booming. The idea of a boom, if something is booming, it is booming. That means it's doing that noise or it's making that noise. So that's your first verb form there. You can put it at the bottom on the go back, all right? All right, you have that, and then you have this page right here, 192, to go ahead and do. And that will be basically finishing the story there. It's sort of it's not like a Mad Lib. It's somewhat like a Mad Lib because you're just going to put your own words in there. But we'll read the story together. You're just going to put your own adjectives in there to describe the story of the things that are going on in there. Okay? All right. Any other questions or any questions about anything? All right. Don't forget, send me a picture of your lesson if you haven't already. Some of you did. I've gotten one from, let's see. Nope, I just got it from Brianna. So I've gotten hers. So send me the pictures of the other 4, please. All right?
Yeah.
All right. That's it. Any other questions? All right.
No.
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.